Yo, what is up, everybody? Back again. Y'all already know what
Nail,
it is.
play that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, this man got the background.
You already know, man. Easy money. Well, it should be easy money, but like
Look,
I said,
knock on wood.
Look at the rookie graphic. We got Dean and we got Davis. It doesn't get better than that shit.
Yeah, put that shit up.
As Rick and Bobby said, if you ain't first, you're last.
Exactly.
Second place is at 2.
Definitely gonna make up for it.
Trust me. I need a sports podcast, man. I need it. Yo. What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the I Need a Sports podcast. Your host with the most, myself, Bryce, my dog, Cam. Y'all already know what it is. Back in action, episode 2, season 2. Last week, hit you with the AFC preview. You already know what's coming next today. NFC preview. Way too early predictions. Got a couple more information, or a little bit more information on injuries, training camp. You know, this is the last week of training camp, second week of preseason. Feels like, I mean, it happens every year, but it feels like today really like the injury bug hit around the league. Every tweet, it seemed like you refresh. Oh, so-and-so got carted off. So-and-so non-contact injury. You hate to see it. Wish it could be possible for an NFL season to take place where nobody got injured. But of course, that's not the nature of this sport. So all these predictions we about to make could be changed by one significant injury. That's all it really takes. But as of right now, August 16, 2023 at 8:47 p.m., we about to give y'all our predictions for how we think the NFC turns out this year. And we're going to kick it off with the NFC North. This division is wide open. I mean, could it be the Lions? Could they finally get over that hump? I think we've been wanting this our whole lives. We ain't never seen it.
Yeah.
Could it be the Bears? Justin Fields, MVP season. They finally got my boy some weapons. Jordan Love season in Green Bay, filling in for Aaron Rodgers. Or could it be Kirk Cousins, Minnesota Vikings again? I don't know. Which team you want to kick it off with first?
Let's kick it off with the Lions, man. Let's kick out with the Lions.
Detroit. First matchup for my Chiefs, Thursday Night Football, September 7th.
It's tough.
Man, Detroit. How you feeling about the Lions this year? Is this finally the year that them boys in Motor City get it done?
I think this finally the year, man. I think this finally the year that they get it done. They've revamped that defense a little bit. I know what's called gonna be out for a couple of games.
Jameson Williams,
yeah,
suspended for gambling.
Yeah, crazy. But when you think about it, like how they came out with it, what they said or whatever, he was betting on another sport, but it was like inside the workplace
facility. Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, these
crazy.
rules is kind of like a muddy water because there's no set rules since this whole gambling thing is new nationwide. But I just feel like unless they was betting on the NFL or and betting on themselves or their team, who cares?
Exactly,
honestly.
who cares? Like
who give a damn if he was inside the facility, 2 steps outside the facility? Do it really matter? Especially when you betting on another sport. Come on, man.
It don't matter at all. NFL is being nitpicky or whatever, but I got the Lions winning this division, man. I got them going 10-7 though. I think 10-7. I think 10-7 gets it done. In NFC North. I think they're gonna split the games with Chicago or whatnot, but they got a little tough stretch. Starting off with Kansas City and Seattle. Those 2 games gonna be tough, but after that, I think they can handle Atlanta, handle Green Bay. I think they should be able to handle Carolina. Other than that, man, I mean, they got a pretty easy schedule this year, I feel like.
Okay, see, I was going through the NFC schedule, and I know the AFC obviously just the way tougher conference this year. But it seemed like everybody got some easy schedules. And it was kind
Yeah.
of throwing me off because I'm like, no, I got to find a loss here or there. Like, it can't be. It's a team we're going to get to later. And I was like, I went through their record and I had them with 2 losses at first. And I was like, ain't no way.
I know. I think I know what you're talking about.
Ain't no way. I was like,
But it's 2 teams like that in NFC that I was like, let me go back and redo this.
okay, yeah, we gonna see. But yeah, I did a double take about this. I was like, hold up.
This schedule's easy.
It's
Like
easy.
it can happen. Like
It can easily happen. But I'm right there with you with Detroit. I think this will finally be the year, God willing, they stay healthy. They get first place. I actually got them winning or going 12-5, winning the division. I think they're gonna start off with the L, of course, in my Chiefs. But then I got them going on a 5-game win streak before they take a loss at Baltimore on October 22nd. Then they'll go on another 4-game streak. And then I think 2 games at New Orleans, at Chicago. Those are 2 tough matchups. I think it's possible they take 2 L's there. I do have them beating the Chargers in LA in an upset. Think that'll be a week in the Charger. It'll be a high-powered game. I know that. Whatever the over is, probably lock that in. It's going to be a shootout in that one. And then I got them splitting with Minnesota, and then they finish off the season with a couple dubs versus Dallas and Minnesota. But yeah, 12-5. I think they get over the hump, like you said. Looking forward to seeing Jared Goff. He actually ended the season really good last year. He doesn't get talked about a lot because he's Jared Goff, but I mean, he's actually it's arguable top 10. I give him top 12 QB in the league. Not too great, not too bad. He's just consistent. Second year with the Lions, or second full year with the Lions after getting traded from the Rams. Or I guess this might be his third, actually. But like you said, they should get Jameson Williams back game 7. Hopefully he's able to get into a rhythm. They're trying to get him a lot of playing time right now during preseason. Of course, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the coldest receivers in the game. Will be interesting to see how they bounce back with the running game this year. They did lose Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift, but then they draft Jahmyr Gibbs first round, surprisingly.
Yeah.
You know, the recent wave with running backs, you don't draft them in the first round anymore, but this year we had 2 of them with Bijan with Atlanta and now Jahmyr Gibbs with Detroit.
They high on him too, though. They high on Gibbs.
They high on him, and he's dual threat, so gonna help in the passing game, gonna help in the running game. We'll see how it goes. They also added Marvin Jones in the wide receiver corps, so you know, gonna need him to step up a little bit while Jameson Williams is out. But the only thing that worries me is just the defense again. Will their defense improve? Because last year their defense was bottom 3 of the league, I believe, and that was really the thing that made them miss out on the playoffs. Their offense could put up points, fine. Yeah. It's the defense. And that's partially the reason why I bet the over already for our game. Because I know our defense probably not going to come out that strong because we never really do start off the season that strong. I know their defense isn't really anything to rave about. But offense, I like it. Defense, just need them to do enough. Maybe get some key turnovers here and there during the stretch of the season. But yeah, 12-5 for me. Detroit takes first place. And, you know, they bite some kneecaps off, as their coach would say. Like, hey, happy for the people of Motor City. Now, once they get to the playoffs, I don't know. But I don't think, they haven't been there since, I want to say, like, was that like 08 or 09 with Stafford and Calvin Johnson? It's been over a decade. So it'll definitely be fun to see them in the playoffs. In second place, though, this is where it gets interesting. Because, like I said, this division kind of a toss-up. It's a lot of unknown in this division. Like I said, got Jordan Love, first year, obviously replacing future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers. You got Justin Fields. To this day, I don't get why people bash him so much. Like, what did you expect him to do with that Chicago roster last year? This year, they bolstered the team a little bit. Still need some work. So I'm not in agreement with everybody saying, oh, this could be an MVP year for Justin Fields. Like, I just feel like they're setting him up for failure because if he doesn't play MVP level, then it's like, oh, well, he's definitely trash. He's a bust. It's like, relax with all that. He can play quarterback. We've seen it at every level of his life so far. But you got him. See what he can do with DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, if Chase Claypool ever gets it together. But and then you got Minnesota, who won the division last year, but they won it in, like, I think like 8 of their wins were all one possession or less games. That's not something you're gonna repeat year in and year out in the NFL. So it's a toss up here, and I want to know who you think comes out second in this division.
I got the Bears.
Okay, we right on the same page. We're
Yeah,
right on the same page. Yeah.
I got the Bears, but I think they're gonna be around like 9-8, 10-7 also, and get that second spot. I just think that the Lions and the Bears are just kind of a little bit more better teams overall than with the Vikings and the Packers. Like you said with in Chicago with Justin Fields, you know, he's still young and all, and you know, he got all this type of you know, expectations for him this year. You know, everybody's saying MVP year or a really much better year that you know that he had in past years or whatever. But you know, just gotta give some time, man. I know that you know, like you said, they added DJ Moore and stuff like that, but you know, just give him a little bit more time for everybody. You know, he could come in and come to his own and stuff like that. But yeah, I think the Bears can finish second, and I think you know them finishing second. I think they can sneak into the playoffs as that 7 seed. So
Oh yeah, because unlike the AFC, I think it's possible. It might be a team that gets into the NFC playoffs with a 9-8 record, 10-7.
exactly, yeah, that's what I'm
AFC, I
thinking.
think 10 is going to be the least, but I think it really could be 11, like we were saying last episode. But for the NFC, it's really not much. It's top heavy for real. There's probably 2-3 teams that you really think could be a threat to win the Super Bowl. And other than that, it's like there's good teams, I
The
guess.
teams, yeah.
But compared to the AFC, no, it's not. It's not a battlefield in the NFC. So, of course, you're gonna have 4 division winners. Um, then the 3 after that, yeah, we could very well see 2 9-8 teams get in, maybe. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think Chicago gets in with 10-7. They say I'm excited to see Justin Fields this year. I hope he proves everybody wrong, keeps doing his thing. Last year we obviously seen it with the legs. This year, now that he's got some weapons, like I said, DJ Moore, N'Keal Harry. They got Robert Tonyan tight end from Green Bay. David Montgomery, like I think, or they lost David Montgomery, but they got Dante Foreman, and they actually got your boy, Roshan Johnson.
Yeah,
I
they got
think, I
him.
think, I don't know if he's gonna
He
get a
gonna be
lot of burn.
nice,
He
bro.
gonna
He
be
gonna be nice,
nice.
bro. He gonna be
I don't,
nice.
I don't know if he's gonna get burned to start the season since he's a rookie, and I think he's third on the depth chart right now. But as the
I hope
season
he
wears
do
on, I think they'll start giving him some
because
more carry.
people really kind of slept on because Bijan, you know,
Bijan was there,
he
but
was
he
a
really the same
light,
type
but
back.
he he really
Really the
is.
same type back.
You know what's crazy? He started off as a quarterback.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he started off as a quarterback and transformed him to a running back. So Roshan gonna be nice, man. People really sleep on Roshan. He's a tough back, man, fast too. He's pretty much just like Bijan, like
No
literally.
facts. I was literally I was watching the Bears versus the Titans preseason game,
Yeah.
and he had a couple nice runs, but it was one where ran a left counter and the gap was closed. It was like 4 Titans defenders around him. He just bounced off every single one of them, got to the outside and picked up the first down. And I'm like,
You're hard to
I
run.
remember seeing that at UT,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody, like you said, everybody been hype on Bijan, but like he would have been running back 1 at probably any other D1
Yeah,
university. It was just the
for
fact he
sure.
was behind Bijan Robinson. So yeah, Bears definitely got a lot of firepower that can be on the offense side of the ball. They just got to prove themselves. But yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it. As far as the season plays out for them, I see them getting to 10-7. I think they're actually gonna get off to a good start. Start off 2-0 in the year. They got Green Bay,
Yeah.
rival. Now that you know Aaron Rodgers is finally gone, their owner. I think they can come out with a dub finally versus Green Bay.
I think
Then
so
they're gonna
too.
go to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, obviously, well, I don't think it's gonna be that good of a team this year. Could be proven wrong, but I don't see it as of right now. Then unfortunately, my boys in Kansas City gonna have to humble Justin Fields a little bit when he come into Arrowhead, shut all that down for a week. And then I think they'll go on like a little 3-game win streak. They'll lose. I got them losing to Washington in the middle, then a 3-game win streak, and then at the end it'll get a little dicey because I have them losing at Detroit and Minnesota, but then I have them both beating those teams at home as well. And then I think that final week, them and Minnesota are about to go into the week 17, both 9-7, season on the line. Who can probably get that last wild card spot or something? But I think the Bears can get it done and finish the season 10-7. And hey, if they can go from worst to in the playoffs, it's not too much you can say about Justin Fields, I think, because for them to have that season, he's gonna have to ball out, and the future's only up from there. They still got hella cap space, still got some good draft picks because they did the smart thing. Ryan Poles got in there, was like, you know what, we're clearly in a rebuild. We don't need to worry about paying anybody. We just need to start from the ground up. Got rid of Roquan Smith, got rid of some other big contracts, created all this cap space so they can do whatever they want essentially. So just looking to see some growth this year, even if they don't make the playoffs. If they can, if they can get 6-7 wins at the very least, I think that's a successful season for Chicago. Now, obviously, in football media, they get 6 or 7 wins and end with a losing record and don't make the playoffs. People gonna be like, well,
Yeah, they're gonna kill him.
They need a new quarterback. Justin Fields is a bust.
Yeah.
He can't do it. But it's like, man, I don't. It's partially just media just being so toxic, but at the same time, Tom Brady for the last 20 years and now Patrick Mahomes have made people really immune to how hard it is to win football games. You don't just come in this league and start winning like that. It's not normal, which is why it's only very few people that have done it. Hence, Tom Brady and now Patrick Mahomes. There's nobody else unless you go back further decades, and it's only one or two guys there. So, like I said, people need to temper expectations a little. If he has an MVP caliber season, hell, that's great. Like, that's great for the game. That's great for Chicago. But if he doesn't, like, this is literally just year 2 of him fully starting with a whole new team. Like, come on, let give players a chance to grow. He only like, I think 23 or something, 24.
He's
He
still
might be
young.
younger than me. Like, come on
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So definitely got to temper expectations. But like I said, I got Minnesota in third. Got them going 9-8. Like I said, last year, even though they won the games,
We're on the same page.
it's not. I don't see them repeating the season. Defense still not as good as they should be. I don't
Defense
think they
is
didn't make
trash. They make
any
no moves.
no moves. They lose Dalvin Cook.
Didn't they lose Harrison Smith, or he's still there?
Harrison Smith's still there, but I want to
He
say
is. They lost somebody.
I think they lost Daniil. I could have sworn. Well,
Nah,
I'm
Hunter's
tripping.
still there.
Let me look at my handy dandy book that I got right here. I forgot just to literally tell me right here. But yeah, they lost Eric Kendricks, their star
Yeah,
linebacker.
that's what it was.
And matter of fact, because I remember my little cousin Devin texted me like, "Bro, they got rid of Lance Kendricks." I'm like, he's gonna cost too much, and
Yeah.
they need to rebuild young in the draft. And then they didn't really do it. I mean, they got their 3 of their first 4 picks were defense, but they're all in the 3rd round or later. So that's really hoping that the upside comes through there. But yeah, they got a lot to cover up on defense, and I don't know if they did enough to get that done. And I think, like I said, winning 1 possession games last year, those games could easily be losses this year. And then not to mention when they did lose last year, they didn't lose. They got whooped.
Yeah.
When they had to play some of the top teams in the NFC, they got whooped. So, I mean, as good as, we watched that quarterback show that came out on Netflix. Kirk Cousins earned a lot more of my respect.
Yeah, he did. He earned my
But
respect too.
not gonna lie, they don't do anything this year. Minnesota might need to say, hey, we just need to look towards the future. You got Justin Jefferson. They added rookie Jordan Addison, star wide receiver from USC, transfer from Pittsburgh, who won the Biletnikoff Award his junior year. But hey, you got all these young talent wide receiver. Probably don't want to waste that. So might be time to move on after this year from Kirk Cousins. Granted, he wins games in the regular season, but playoffs, he still hasn't gotten it done. And if they don't get it done this year, I'm just saying the writing might be on the wall, whether they want to face that or not. So who knows? But I got them third, 9-8. But it sounds like you kind of on the same page as that.
Yeah, I got them going 8-9 this year. I don't, like you said, I earn a little bit more respect for Kirk Cousins, but he's still Kirk Cousins. So
Yeah.
he's,
Like
he's
props to
still
him for playing with them broken ribs, but he's still Kirk
he's
Cousins.
still Kirk. He's still Kirk at the end of the day. Um, but no, like you said, man, they didn't really add anything on the defensive side. Yeah, they added Jordan Addison on offense, another receiver. He's going to take that the Adam Thielen role, um, which he should be good in fantasy. But other than that, I don't really see them making any noise this year. I definitely don't see them winning the division this year. We got the Lions. I don't think we got the Lions there. I don't see them beating the Lions. I don't really see them beating the Bears. They might split games with the Bears or split games with the Lions, but other than that, I don't think they'll win enough games to win that division. So yeah, I'm
That's
at eight
fair.
and nine.
8-9. And last but not least, and even though I got him last place, I don't even
Yeah.
necessarily think it's bad because I have them winning game. Green Bay, obviously, Aaron Rodgers is left. Jordan Love in. Been studying behind him for the last 3 years. I actually think Jordan Love is going to ball out. I think he's going to be
Mhm.
a nice little quarterback this year. I just think it's going to be a learning curve being a
Yeah, it's gonna be
starting
like
QB
yeah.
for a full season. And I think the Lions, they're primed to take this division this year. And I think Chicago's just got more talent on both sides of the ball compared to Green Bay. Green Bay's defense should still be pretty decent. Of course, still got Jair Alexander over there. Still got Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon on the offensive side of the ball. But I just don't think Green Bay wins enough games. But I think it's a great learning experience for Jordan Love. And at the very least, they find out that what they should have done last year, like I said, when we knew, even though they didn't want to accept it, we knew they weren't making the playoffs last year the way they were playing. They should have just put them in the last 5 games of the season and called it quits with Aaron Rodgers then and there, and like
Mhm.
really got to see what they had. But they didn't do it. They still missed the playoffs. So now you got to go into this season, hoping and praying that Jordan Love is what you think he could be, which is why you took him in the first round when you could have taken a wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers. But that's that's back in the past. But I think, like I said, I think they're gonna open up the season with an L at Chicago. Think they can beat Atlanta. Um, I got them with a stretch at the end of the season. They got at Detroit versus my Chiefs at New York Giants. I think that's 3 L's in a row, and that's up until there. They'll be in the playoff race, the wild card race, but them 3 L's are just kind of gonna derail their season. And then I think they'll probably potentially end the season with an L versus Chicago, thus getting Chicago into the playoffs and further eliminating Green Bay from contention. They finished the season 8-9, but nothing to be ashamed about. First year of
Mhm.
Jordan Love, see some promise, know what you need to build on for the future. And then also, this is his first year. He gets to build a repertoire with Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs, two receivers who probably should have got more playing time last year, but because a drop pass here or there, Aaron Rodgers don't want to throw him the ball no more. So it is what it is. But that's how I got Green Bay finishing out and round out the NFC North.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. Like you said, I think this is going to be a learning curve for Jordan Love. Um, I got them going around like 7 and 10, 8 and 9, around that range. They had a lot of picks this year. But I know they added, like you said, the defense gonna be good. Obviously, still they added that DN from Iowa.
Luke Van Ness,
Yeah,
yeah, he cold.
he's kind of like the JJ Watt s type of guy, or whatever. Then I know they added a tight end, I believe.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
Luke Musgrave. I've been hearing
Hmm.
a lot of ramblings
Hmm.
about him in fantasy. People saying
Yeah.
like, "Oh, like
Yeah, he gonna
you
yeah.
need to get
I
him." He's also from Iowa,
yeah.
and
I see.
Iowa tighter than you.
Tight
And
end for sure. I've been seeing some training clips of him from training camp or whatever. Man, he a big guy. I think like 6'5", 6'6", fast too. So I mean, Jordan Love, he gonna have some weapons around him to work out with. And still got Christian Watson and stuff like that. Um, so I mean, even though we saying 8 and 9, I wouldn't be surprised if he
yeah,
comes out because
that's what I'm saying. I from what I seen, like last year, I think it was what Aaron Rodgers was hurt or something when they played Philly and Jordan Love had to come in the game and finish it off. And he came in and he was throwing dots. And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, when we think about it, he has been sitting and studying under Aaron Rodgers for the last 2 years. He had to learn something. So I
Had to learn
think he
something,
very well could be ready. So like I said, I would not be surprised if Green Bay does shock the world, and they are a really good team still. So like I said, that defense going to be there. Matt LaFleur is a pretty good play caller, and they got weapons. I just don't think it will happen, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm actually rooting for Jordan Love.
I am too. Yeah.
I hope he shines and it kind of makes people, backpedal a little bit on like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers that. Kind of the same thing that happened with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. Brett Favre steps out and people hate Aaron Rodgers. He wins them a Super Bowl in year 2 or 3, I think. But who knows? I'm excited to see a lot of young talent this year that's going to get an opportunity to kind of showcase what they can be. And Jordan Love is definitely one of those prospects. And I'm glad I was thinking of that, but I forgot. But I'm glad you brought up Luke Musgrave. I've definitely been hearing all the ramblings. I've seen some clips from training camp. And I even seen some tweets earlier today of saying there's people taking Luke Musgrave in the first round of their fantasy draft. I don't know about all that.
Whoa,
there was
crazy.
some people that was doing that. So maybe they know something we don't.
Yeah.
Maybe they know, but like you said, Iowa.
I heard he's good though. I heard he's real good.
He gotta be.
I heard he's really,
there's
really
one
good.
thing Iowa can do is produce tight ends because they damn sure can't really do anything else because they can't score points in college football. They're terrible at that. But just for background information, if y'all wondering why they're tight end you, the last 2 tight ends out of Iowa that you know, TJ Hawkinson, who's now with the Vikings, who could also have a really good year, first full year in that McConnell offense, and then George Kittle. And now you got Luke Musgrave. Literally, they all the same build. 6'5", 6'6" white guys who have speed and some power. Yep. So they're doing something right over there in them cornfields in Iowa. But hey,
them boys good.
Them boys good. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. But that's how we got finishing. That's how we have the NFC North finishing out. We have the same standings. So Detroit first, Chicago second, Minnesota third, Green Bay fourth. But honestly, that division is completely up for grabs. Who knows? It's a big question mark across the board besides Kirk Cousins, really. But at the end of the day, like we said, it's Kirk Cousins. So easily a coin flip. But like I said, as of right now, August 16, 2023, we got Detroit finally getting over that hump and making it to the playoffs for the first time in over a decade. And I believe now we're kicking it to the NFC South, correct? NFC South. Honestly, this might be.
This could be a really fast.
This might be the worst division in football this year.
It's definitely going to be the worst. Definitely.
And honestly, we were just 1 year too early for our predictions. Last year, we stupidly said, "Oh, the Saints got this division on lock."
Yeah.
Just knowing the Tom Brady effect, even in Tom Brady's worst year.
Crazy.
And they're struggling to have a winning record. They still win the division because the rest of them just end up being that bad. But this year, man, lock it in. I need it.
Yeah.
Lock. First one for this episode. I'm gonna check again right now. But last week after the preseason game, after I watched the first drive versus my Chiefs, I literally text Cam. And I'll even try to put in the screenshot of this episode of our messages. But I was like, you can go lock in the Saints. I was about to say Raiders because Derek Carr. I was like, you can go lock in the Saints right now on Bovada for plus 135 to win the NFC South. I don't know if that's changed. I'm about to check right now. But as long as it's even money, I don't think it's going to be even money for long.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't be. This division is really bad. Tampa Bay, they got their Super Bowl, sold their soul, got Tom Brady. They're done. Carolina Panthers, they don't have a line to protect Bryce Young. God protect him, watch over him this season so he doesn't get killed. First pass in the preseason game, he gets absolutely mauled. He still made the completion, props to him, but like that line is not going to hold up. And then with the Falcons, they got Bijan Robinson. They bolstered that defense. But I have not seen more than 2 clips of Desmond Ridder actually throwing the football in training camp this preseason. And so, scared for them. But the Saints, man, they got all-star defense, Cam Jordan. They got my boy Colin Saunders from the Chiefs last year, defensive nose tackle. Tyrann Matthews on the back is still Marshawn Lattimore. Like their defense is gonna be what
Them
it
are
is.
good,
They
man.
they always got a good defense. They've been top 5 in defense for like the last 4 years now. And Derek Carr and that offense, all he needed was, a team that could back him up to just be a decent quarterback. He's a decent quarterback. Like I said, the Raiders, it was just a toxic relationship. He's out of that now. Hopefully you get a healthy Michael Thomas for the whole year. He looked good in the couple drives I've seen him. Chris Olave, up and coming star wide receiver. I think he's destined for a breakout year, especially with Derek Carr. They got Jimmy Graham back. I don't know like
That's
how
crazy. I was
productive he's
like,
gonna be. I remember when we saw that sign, we thought he was just retiring as a
yeah.
Saint, but no, he's back with the Saints. Alvin Kamara is going to serve a 3-game suspension, but in the meantime, they got Jamal Williams as running back, who led the league in touchdowns last year with 17. So Saints are in good hands, and in this division, ain't no competition.
None at all.
I don't know about you, but this is who I was alluding to earlier. I went through the Saints
Oh,
schedule.
he's Saints.
Yes, and I had them at 15-2 the first go round. I was like, timeout. What? Let me backtrack. And then I could really only find one more L. And I got them at 14-3. With that defense, they're gonna get stops. Derek Carr's gonna be able to put up points with those weapons. I literally just run through it all. Versus Tennessee at home, open up the year, dub. At Carolina, like I said, Cam Jordan might kill Bryce Young. Literally.
He
That's a
might.
dub. At Green Bay, that might be a tougher game, but that's a dub. Versus Tampa Bay, dub. New England, Bill Belichick's defense, I give New England a chance, but I got them taking one L there. At your boys in Houston, sorry, I think that's a dub for them. Jacksonville, second L. At Indy, easy dub. Versus Chicago at home. They probably going to have Justin Field and shambles that game. Dub. At Minnesota, I gave them an L, but I could see them winning that game and shutting Kirk Cousins down.
Yeah.
Luckily for Minnesota, it's not a primetime game, so you might get the best Kirk Cousins that weekend. So I could see Minnesota win that. And then I got them finishing the season on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7-game win streak. Atlanta, Detroit, Carolina, New York Giants, LA Rams, Tampa Bay, Atlanta. There's probably only one loss at the very most there in that record, and that's probably to New York, if anything.
Yeah, they do got a nice little schedule.
They got an easy schedule, man. They could easily lose games like it's any given Sunday, but as of right now, going through this record and just looking at the talent on their roster and that defense, I can't see them. I really got them winning 14 plus games. It's crazy to think about. I sat there, I went through this thing 4 or 5 times, like, no, there's got to be more losses anywhere, but it's hard for me to find them.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say, I think I saw something yesterday. I think they're favored in like 7 or 8 games in a row this year, but only like 2 of them they're favored by more than 3 points. So might be betting the Saints a lot this year early on before they start changing up some lines to kind of get more in tune with them. But I think they're going to be really good. And I got, like I said, ain't nobody else in the division. So first place in the NFC South sold up for them as long as they stay relatively healthy. But
yeah, you said it. Like you said, they should definitely easily win this division. I got them around 12-5 or 13-4. I got them taking 2 losses back to back. First, I got them, going on a little 5-game win streak, and I think, and then when they play us, they come to Houston. I got us beating them, and then I got Jacksonville beating them, in New Orleans. So that's back-to-back losses. Then I got them beating Indianapolis. I got them taking an L to Chicago, and then I got them beating Minnesota, and then the bye week hits. I got them beating Atlanta. Got them losing to the Lions. I think the Lions can get one in on them. And after that, I think they potentially can win. Like you said, I think they might be able to. The Giants might be able to sneak one on them, but other than that, they should win out after that. But yeah, I got them around 12, either 12-5 or 13-4. But I mean, even those losses that I gave them, they probably will win. They probably will win. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see.
It's gonna be interesting, and it will be the funniest thing after all this time. Derek Carr was wasting away in Oakland / Las Vegas, goes to New Orleans. The next thing you know, he's done mess around. He's in the NFC Championship game with a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Which guess where it's at this year? In Vegas.
It's in Vegas.
If Derek Carr makes the Super Bowl in Vegas, hey, you know what? I'm probably gonna go sprinkle on New Orleans Saints making the Super Bowl because I just know the script writers don't put that in the script.
Yeah,
I just know it. Derek Carr to the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. Oh my God.
That'd
It's gonna be a whole side that's like pro Derek Carr, like, oh, this is great to see. Like he win the Super Bowl, we win the Super Bowl. And then there's gonna be a whole other side, like, where was this at when he played for us? He's garbage. Like this can't be real. That would be an interesting thing to see if the Saints mess around and made it to the Super Bowl this year. Oh
Well,
man.
Carr, man, he's a good dude, man. I hope he do makes it.
I wonder what the odds for that would be. Are they even plus 5,000?
Dang.
Oh my!
Hold on, I might have to sprinkle on that.
$10 when you 500. Let me go ahead and lock that one in.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to
I
lock
need
it
it.
in with
I'm
you.
just telling you, if you want to sprinkle for the shits and giggles, plus 5,000 New Orleans Saints to be the Super Bowl winners.
That's insane. Plus 5,000 in the NFC.
In the NFC. Because they're going to have a solid defense, like I said. And if you got defense, you can win championships.
Exactly. And he's really not a bad quarterback.
He's not a bad quarterback. It's just, like I said, Oakland, Las Vegas. I'm saying Oakland, Las Vegas because he started his career. They were in Oakland. But Las Vegas Raiders, they're just a poverty-stricken franchise right now. They don't know what exactly is going on. And that boy Devontae Adams down there in hell right now. But, yeah, that's... I could see it happening. I could totally see the script writers putting that in for the year. But yeah, Saints, man, telling you, lock it in right now. Plus 135, which I don't even know if I said what they are currently again. Let's see, NFC South. Yep, they're still at plus 135 on Bovada. Get that.
Man, go lock that.
Go lock it in right now, man.
Yeah, please
I need
lock
it.
it in.
I know what it is. I'm telling you right.
That's easy money.
Unless they literally have an injury to Cam Jordan, Tyrann Mathieu, Chris Olave, Jamal Williams, or Alvin. Unless all those injuries happen, they're still winning this division. I got them going 14-3. They can win this division at 9-8 probably.
Literally.
To be real with you.
I think they actually could. Cause
isn't that what the Bucks won it at last year? I think 9-8.
It was
8.
No, they was 8-9.
Yeah. Oh my God,
it
bro.
was 8-9.
I don't know why it's still plus 135.
Vegas must know something that we don't know, bro.
They got me because I'm locking it in.
They must know something.
I can't see it happening. The only
team.
Atlanta, they made some great pickups, but like I said, I'm not trusting Desmond Ridder.
I got them 2-15. I got them in the Bucks. Them in the Bucks. I got them 2-15, 3-14. Oh, I don't see it at all.
I don't see it at all. I got Atlanta 5-12. I got the Bucks 4-13.
I don't see it at all. They're honestly, gonna be two of the worst teams.
I don't even know who finishes second between Carolina and Atlanta. I got them both 4-13.
I think Carolina. I got Carolina like 17, 8-9.
Okay, yeah.
I'm being more lenient.
I'm just so scared for Bryce Young. That's literally why I can't give the Panthers.
They're gonna have to protect him. They're gonna have to protect him.
And they won't.
Yeah.
They won't. The crazy thing is, because I was watching that game too, they interviewed I think it was his left tackle. And he was like, yeah, I'm just excited because we've been gelling well. Like, he's talking about the offensive line. They interviewed him on the sideline. He's like, yeah, we've been gelling well, building chemistry, and we got a guy back there like Bryce Young who's real poised. I'm like, this dude just had 2 drives in the game, and y'all got him hit 4 times already.
Man, killed,
and you talking about y'all gelling? What? No, y'all aren't.
Mm-mm.
He's already got a small frame. His as is, all it takes is one big defensive end like Cam Jordan to land on him the wrong way, collarbone out of there, because you getting him hit from his blind side. So I'm praying, because I like Bryce Young and he got a really good name, Bryce. You know what I'm saying? But I just can't see them winning that much. Frank Reich is a pretty good coach, but like I got them opening the season 0-6. And I hate to say that because I can only imagine what the narratives will be when it comes when that happens around Bryce Young and NFL media calling him a bust. And then honestly, this might even be wrong. I feel like last week I've said y'all would beat them, but I gave them a dub versus y'all and a dub versus Indy, and then a dub versus Atlanta and Tampa Bay at home, and that's how I rounded them out to 4 wins. But honestly, I can see them being 2-15, maybe 1-16. Like, it's hard to find wins for this Carolina team. They did get Miles Sanders, good running back, Philly last year. Got safety Von Bell from Cincinnati. Got DJ Chark and Adam Thielen, so they're gonna have some weapons for Bryce Young to utilize. But I don't know if he's gonna have time to utilize.
Yeah,
them.
that's
gonna be the main problem. So
I was gonna say a sleeper receiver for them is Jonathan Mingo. Watch out for him.
I've been hearing about him.
He gonna be very nice, very very nice. Jonathan Mingo. Remember the name because he from Ole Miss too.
Miss DK Metcalf, basically.
And the Ole Miss receivers, they've been
they've been
doing their thing. Yeah.
And people kind of forgot about him because last year he had to move to tight end because their starting tight end got hurt early on in the season. And he's so damn big, they was like, well, we just gonna move you to tight end. But before, I think it was week 4 they did that. But those first 3 weeks of the college football season, he was leading the whole nation in yards per game for wide receiver, and he was looking really good. And then his attempts or his catches got slightly diminished when he moved to tight end because he was more in a blocking role there. But yeah, he could be good. Adam Thielen, I know he's older, but nice veteran. DJ Chark, decent wide receiver. Bryce Young only gonna have 2 seconds to throw the ball. That's the only thing, problem, bro. I'm finding. And then
switch it. That's gonna suck if he get hurt.
It will. Man, dear God, Heavenly Father, we come to you today, asking you to just watch over Bryce Young and his bones, because we know that Carolina line is gonna try their best to get him killed. But we ask that you just watch over him this season. All these things we ask in your most precious name. Amen.
Amen.
And then on the flip side, Atlanta need, you know how they be saying, when something happened in the family, you need all the prayer warriors to come together.
They need something.
Atlanta need all the prayer warriors praying to God that, one, Desmond Ridder is just a decent quarterback, and 2, that they can figure out how to use probably the most athletic tight end in the whole NFL.
Ever, really?
In Pitts. 2 years now, have not used him. Desmond Ridder is supposed to be a quarterback because they haven't had a quarterback these last 2 years. Use Kyle Pitts, man. It cannot be that hard to get open a 6'7" tight end who can run a 4.5 40. It should not be that difficult, especially when on the outside as well, you got a 6'3", 6'4" Drake London. Who's a pretty good wide receiver in his own right. Stack them both on the same side. One of them should be open.
Literally.
Arthur Smith, oh my God, it's not rocket science. You got to do something different. But like I said, we have not seen Desmond Ridder at all over training camp. I didn't even check. I'm about to check right now. What was his stats last week in the preseason game? I'm not even sure how much he played. But let's see. Oh, he didn't play. So I don't know if that was precautionary because something's wrong with him or they're choosing to rest him, but he needs all the reps he can get. Because every clip I done seen of a wide receiver or Bijan Robinson running one-on-one routes, the ball is always behind them or in a terrible spot, and they never show who's throwing it. So that can only mean a couple things. And it means they don't got any good quarterback on the roster. It's probably 7 out of 10 of those are Desmond Ridder throwing the football. That will not be good for Atlanta. Like I said, I got them also going 4-13. But like you said, that could easily be 2-15,
Mhm.
3-14. Like I got them opening up the season. Luckily for them, they get to play Carolina the first game of the season. So somebody's gonna have to. Well, someone doesn't have to win that one technically because if
Yeah,
it
make
goes
it
to one
time.
overtime, they could tie. And last year, both their games was kind of close. But I got them getting a dub versus Carolina. Then they're gonna go on a 5-game losing streak. Get a dub at Tampa Bay. I got them dubbing Arizona, and I think they can sweep Tampa Bay. I got them sweep Tampa Bay, and then I got them getting a dub at the end of the season versus Indy. So I got them at 5-12, 5-12. But it's the Bucks who I also had at 4-13. But like I said,
Man,
this is look.
Atlanta should just tank. Just buy it, and just tank this
But
one
you know what the
season.
crazy thing is? I give them props because they did add this year. Um, they got they got some good defensive pieces. Bud Dupree from Tennessee, Jesse Bates from Cincinnati, who we knew was going to be gone after last year, and Calais Campbell, veteran defensive lineman. But if you remember, when the rumors were that Lamar wants to be traded out of Baltimore, Atlanta had the cap space and the picks or necessary players to trade for him. And what Arthur Blank said, and I quote was, "We're good on quarterback. We don't need Lamar Jackson." If Desmond Ritter is absolute garbage this year, and you could have had Lamar Jackson with a Kyle Pitts, a Drake London, a Bijan Robinson. Imagine
Exactly.
Bijan Robinson, Lamar, in an RPO
It's crazy. How you stop it? You can't.
with Kyle Pitts out in the flat. You don't. So
You can't stop that.
they better, like I said, they better get all the prayer warriors in the state of Georgia to come together. And I don't know. I can't see them winning, but maybe Desmond Ritter can prove us all wrong.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, but from what we've seen so far, it's not good. It's not looking good. And then last but not least, Tampa Bay, like I said, 4-13.
They're gonna be the worst team in the league.
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
This might be the year Mike Evans' 1,000-yard streak comes to an end. Um,
I
there
think he
it,
may get traded. I think he's gonna ask for a trade or something. But he's not that type of guy to do
he
that.
not
But
he not, but
I hope they just trade him.
I hope they do too. I hope we get him. Just
Yeah,
our wide receiver room already too crowded, so I know that won't happen. But I love to see Mike Evans with Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, no, Baker Mayfield. This could probably be his last season as a starting NFL quarterback. Uh, Kyle Trask, who knows? There is rumblings in the fantasy world at least. They're saying Rashad White could be a nice pickup at running back. He's gonna be getting all the carries now. They lost Leonard Fournette this off season. Offense, I'm sure ain't really too much other weapons. Like I said, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin hasn't really bounced back from his ACL yet. Maybe a full off season without having to do rehab. He could look more like the older Chris Godwin we know. But then at the same time, like we said, you know, Baker Mayfield, not too hype on him. And then if it isn't Baker Mayfield, it's Kyle Trask, who we literally know nothing about. I mean, funny enough, I don't know if you even realize it. You know, Kyle Trask went to Manville, right?
did he?
Yeah, he didn't
I did
start
not know.
because he was behind Derek King. He was a backup quarterback that whole time, but I don't know who he
Wait,
knew.
so how he got to the
I know,
college?
right? He got some of the strongest connections, I guess, because
Wait, so all 4 years he went to Manville and he was a
he was
backup?
behind Derek King the whole time.
So how?
I I don't know how he ended up at Florida. I don't know how he ended up starting there, but he did.
That
I
don't
get
even make sense.
not what you know, it's who you know. But he's here
Yeah,
in
I
the
guess so.
NFL now, so. But yeah, Kyle's trash. But ain't too much to look forward to in Tampa Bay. But hey, they sold their soul. They got Tom Brady. They got a Super Bowl out of it.
Got they
That's what
ring.
that's what it's all
That's
about at the
yeah,
end of
that's
the
what you
day.
yeah. Ask the Rams. That's
All these teams we can sit up here and say, "Oh, Chargers, Herbert's a young, promising quarterback. Burrow, the window is always open. Josh Allen, like they're gonna get a Super Bowl. They haven't done it yet, and there can only be one Super Bowl winner. They were
exactly.
able to get one. They might be in poverty hell for the next decade, but hey, they got the Super Bowl, so it is what it is. Can't take it away from them. And they beat my Chiefs, so never get over that. But yeah, as far as this year, I got them getting a dub versus Atlanta at home. I got them. I was just trying to find them a win. I got them surprisingly getting an upset versus Tennessee at home. Dub versus Carolina at home, and think one more dub versus Atlanta. Or no, 3-14 because I actually got Atlanta sweeping them. So yeah, this is literally just this the bottom of not even the bottom. The three teams in the AFC South really in a fight for one of the top quarterbacks coming out in the draft next year, and it's really just between Atlanta and Tampa Bay because Carolina obviously got their guy in Bryce Young. So maybe it's a Caleb Williams sweepstakes. And was it Drake May? Is that the guy
No.
from Carolina, North Carolina, or something May? I think.
I think it is. Wait, is it Mark? No, it's not Marcus May. It's I think it's like Drake May or something like that. Something like that.
Yeah, I'm old. I can't even keep up with the college
Yeah.
players now. But yeah, it's gonna be them type sweepstakes for this division. But like we said, man, right now, as of today, plus 135 on Bovada. I don't know who y'all bet with, but go lock that in. New Orleans Saints. It would literally
Definitely.
take the worst season ever for them to not win this division.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't believe it's at plus money like that. I text Cam earlier this week, locked it in. But Saints win the division. Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Carolina, toss up for who can even get to 5 wins. If that, they might all finish below that. But
Literally.
probably the worst division in football this year, no doubt. Next up, NFC West. This one's interesting because honestly, the way it's looking, they could potentially be in running for the second worst division in football. You got the 49ers, of course, who should still have a good defense if they're able to extend Nick Bosa because he still hasn't shown up to camp. They can figure out the quarterback. Shanahan came out and said yesterday it would literally have to take Brock Purdy melting for him to not be starting quarterback. But then earlier today, it comes out Brock Purdy has now thrown 10 interceptions in training camp and threw 2 more today, and he has not been looking good. His Jeremy Lin sanity run might be over, and Trey Lance didn't look good in the preseason game last week. Sam Darnold, he's been in the league for like 5 years now, but he's never shown any real upside. Granted, he was with the Jets when they were really bad. I don't know. The Rams still seems like they sold their soul for their Super Bowl, and they're not necessarily bouncing back this year, even though they could be improved if they could just stay relatively healthy. But even that's up in the air because Cooper Kupp already pulled his hamstring, and now he's out several weeks. And then the Seattle Seahawks. Honestly, I still got San Francisco winning the division, but my gut is telling me if there's any year for Seattle to steal the division, because looking like they could do it last year, they fell off in the end. But it would be this year, I think. And they got the roster to do it. Second year with Geno as a starter. Maybe we can see improvements there. Obviously, they got a great defense. Got good weapons. They got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and then you add Jackson Smith and Jigba. Honestly, probably the best wide receiver in this year's draft class. People just forgot because he was injured all of his senior year at Ohio State. But let's not forget, if y'all remember the Rose Bowl the year before versus Utah when he went off for like 260 yards and like 3 touchdowns and literally brought them back by himself. He's probably the smoothest route runner out of this year's class. Seattle could be nice. So I'm interested to see where do you think this division goes? Because this one's kind of a toss-up as of right now with what we know concerning all of the team's rosters.
I think it's easily 49ers. This is the team who I thought you was talking about with the schedule, just looking through it.
Oh.
I think it's easily the 49ers. I don't care who's back there.
Yeah, quarterback,
Quarterback. I don't care who. It could be me. It could be you. It could be anybody back there. Throwing a football. Because either way, I just know Shanahan's gonna come up with some type of game plan every week to limit anybody who's throwing the ball, throws or whatever. You're not gonna be able to stop their run game. The O line is one of the best in the league. Defense is cold. I know Bosa, sitting out whatever, but eventually, he gonna come and play whatever. But I mean, when I looked at the schedule, I mean, the only two losses I can see them, or one or two losses I can see them. I think they'll split with Seattle because, like you said, with Seattle or whatever, they kind of came close last year, but Gino was playing good. They just signed Gino to that long-term deal, whatever. He got paid and stuff like that. That Seattle defense is pretty good too. They defense young and good. They calling them the Legion of Boom 2.0. But
I don't know about all that.
yeah. but yeah, nah, man, 49ers, I just see them going like just completely crazy. Like I really only had them my schedule, I really only had them losing to Seattle in Seattle. So I mean, other than that, I think the Philly game gonna be obviously that's gonna be close. They could drop that one. And the Baltimore game, that's gonna be close also too. But other than that, I mean, like I said, man, I don't care who's back there throwing. I know Purdy has been looking good. Trey Lance hasn't really been looking good either. I'm actually kind of interested to see what Sam Darnold would like
Honestly, because
looking at offense.
that's why I was surprised to see Shanahan's comments saying Purdy would literally have to melt down for them to pick another quarterback. I'm like, if he's that bad and y'all have zero confidence in Trey Lance because he hasn't progressed, is Sam Darnold that bad? Like, he's been in the league for
Yeah.
5 years. I mean, like you said, Kyle Shanahan can make any quarterback look good. Sam Darnold was once the top-rated QB prospect coming into his draft. I'm like, could he not make that work? Sam Darnold can't
Crazy,
possibly be worse than Jimmy Garoppolo, but I'm like, dang,
which is crazy because he's not that. I mean, he's not. He didn't have the greatest start of his career, but he's not like that man. Like he could throw the ball pretty
yeah,
good.
he
I
can
feel
throw the
like
ball. He got an
so.
arm. So
I don't know. We'll see.
But yeah, so I got them. I actually think the first week of the season at Pittsburgh is a really tough game.
That's gonna be a tough one. Yeah.
I got them taking an L there, but then going a 3-game winning streak. I think this year Dallas will beat them in the regular season at least. I don't know what would happen if they have to see them in the playoffs for a third time. But I think Dallas will finally win because it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. Then I got them losing at Jacksonville. I got them losing at Seattle, like you said. I think Philly will get them again, even though they've been, last year the 49ers swore up and down if they just had a quarterback, they go to the Super Bowl and win that NFC Championship game. I think that's just going to add more fuel to the fire for Philly, and it's in Philadelphia again. I think Philadelphia will handle them. And then I got them finishing the season on a 5-game win streak, and they win the division at 12-5. So I still got them winning. I just think it's not going to be as easy as a season as people think. And I also think D'Amico Ryans, like they went for Robert Saleh, D'Amico Ryans. Like it's going to be hard to keep. Obviously, the defense has talent, but it's going to be hard to keep repeating that without your coordinator. Like we said, I'm assuming Nick Bosa will get some kind of deal done. They're not going to lose him. But they did lose a couple key pieces on defense. Lost Jimmy Ward, I think. D'Amico brought him to Houston. They lost Samson Ebukam, Jordan Willis, 2 of their edge rushers. So they got some holes to fill. And who knows if Nick Bosa doesn't sign, then it kind of does really change how that defense looks. And on offense, of course, you got the weapons: CMC, Kittle, Debo Samuel, Ayuk, all those weapons. It's just right now, as it's been for the last 5 years, what is the quarterback situation in San Francisco? And obviously, I don't think Brock Purdy's bad, but I won't sit up here and say like, oh, I think he's gonna repeat what he did last year, where he came in and didn't lose until the playoffs when he got injured. I think he'll kind of come back down to life a little bit. People got tape on him now, of course, but if he really is as bad as what these reports are saying out of camp, I'm really wondering if he rushed back from that elbow too fast.
He might
Remember,
have.
he originally wasn't even supposed to be playing this year. That was the
Mm-hmm.
original diagnosis. And then randomly, like a month ago, they're like, oh no, he's going to be ready to go for training camp. He's throwing the football. He's way ahead of schedule. Now he's throwing all these interceptions. It kind of just makes you wonder. At the same time, obviously, they don't have too much trust in Darnold or Trey Lance. So they kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place. Like I text you earlier, they literally just been a quarterback away for the last 5 years. And if they still can't get it done, the one person who will be laughing is Jimmy Garoppolo, because like y'all trashed me and threw me under the bus, got rid of me, all for y'all to still end up with the same results as, if not worse, than what I get. Because Jimmy
Yeah.
took them to a Super Bowl and another NFC Championship game, and was one drive from the Rams, from winning that one as well. So as bad as we can talk about Jimmy Garoppolo, he did win them games. So it's gonna be interesting. But I'm assuming, since we're kind of on the same page with Seattle, I guess you have them second, I would think, too, in the
Mm-hmm.
division.
Yeah, I got them second, 11-6.
Okay. So I got them finishing either 10-7 or 9-8, where I think they'll finish second in the division. And with that record, I think they'll be able to grab one of the wild card spots. I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually really excited to see Geno Smith with that third weapon and Smith and Jigba. And like you said, the defense young, and they're already battle tested. They're going to be good. And even though like I said, I picked the 49ers to win the division. Right now, my gut is telling me I would not be surprised if Seattle finds a way to sneak and win the NFC West this year. Just because the 49ers are a little bit shaky. I know they're still a great team roster-wise, great coach, but they're just a little bit shaky right now for my liking. And Pete Carroll going to have them Seattle boys ready to play. Geno Smith, like I said, year 2, they just threw him the bag. I think he's poised for another good year, improving. I I'm I wanna give them, like, I really want to change my pick right now to say like, oh, Seattle gonna win it, but I'm gonna stick with the 49ers. But I think they get second. How you think? What's your key pivotal games you got them winning and stuff to get to 11-6?
Now, I think off bat they start off 4 straight wins. Then they start off 4 straight wins, and then I think they take a L to Cincinnati. Um, that Cleveland game gonna be kind of tough, so that's a toss up right there. I think they lose to Baltimore. I think they're gonna split with San Francisco. Um, Actually, that San Francisco, Dallas, and San Francisco, that's gonna be a tough little stretch right
That is a
there.
tough stretch
And
for
then
sure.
they got Philly. So yeah, so like
Oh yeah,
those 4 games gonna be tough. Really, really that last stretch gonna be tough. Like San Francisco, Dallas, San Francisco, Philly, and Tennessee. I think they could beat Tennessee. Then Pittsburgh. That's gonna be tough. But
yeah. That stretch, I literally got them losing those 3: Dallas, San Fran, Philly, and then winning the last 3 to finish the season. So it gets shaky at the end, but then I got them finishing strong. But yeah, no, looking at that, I didn't even realize that is a tough 4-game stretch.
that's a tough 4 game stretch.
Really, you could technically still say a tough 5-game stretch, because LA Rams is still a divisional opponent, so you already
Yeah.
know how that goes, and it's at LA. So yeah, they definitely have opportunity to hit a rough patch, but no, I think they can handle it. I think they'll be ready, and they might be able to shock the world. Who knows? Who knows? Because it's
Mhm.
gonna be new division winners every year and new teams in the playoffs. So I got faith in Seattle. On the Ram, you got the Rams third, because
Yeah, I
I'm
got
pretty
Rams
sure we
third.
think now. I just want to get to them just to get out of the way. What you got the Arizona Cardinals record as?
I got the one race teams also 2-15 or 3-14.
I got them
I,
1-16.
yeah, okay.
And I just had to
That's
give them
fair.
that win. I don't even know if they can honestly get this win. But I didn't want to say they would be the first team to go 0-17.
Wait,
Last year I said Seattle would do that, and then Seattle messed around and made the
best round,
playoff.
yeah.
But honestly, no Kyler, first year head coach. The clips I have seen of them from their training camp, they're literally comical. Oh, I think it was that one clip we said like a week or two ago where they literally snapped the ball and within 1 second, three linemen were already in the backfield. And it was like, yep, this says tanking for Caleb Williams like no other. But the only win I got them getting is versus Atlanta. Everything else is an L.
Yeah, everything else. And their bye week not to like week 14, so it's gonna be straight losing. It's gonna be straight losing for 13 weeks. Yeah, that's gonna be rough.
That is gonna be so rough.
Yeah, it was hard finding them wins. Like,
They start off the season tough. They got to
yeah,
go up against the whole NFC East, or three of them: Washington, New York, Dallas. Then they got to go to San Fran, home versus Cincy, at LA, at Seattle versus Baltimore.
Jesus Christ, in
Like,
Cleveland, you go
I
to
mean,
Cleveland.
I don't want to say anything is guaranteed, but I'm almost positive they start the season off at the very least 0-8. Traveling
That's
to
horrible.
Cleveland, maybe they can mess around and get a dub at Cleveland because we still don't know what Deshaun Watson and them boys will be, but that's more than likely a L. So potentially 0-9. I got them winning week 10 versus Atlanta, and then it's right back to losing. L versus y'all, L versus the Rams, L versus Pittsburgh, San Francisco, at Chicago, at Philly versus yeah.
That's a tough schedule for a
Cardinals
bad
fans, I
team.
am so
I'm
sorry.
sorry. I'm so
You had to
sorry.
go from Cliff Kingsbury to now this, like it's poverty. But hey, embrace the rebuild. Maybe
Yeah,
with this
embrace
new
it.
coach, y'all can potentially, rebuild and get a whole new young core in there and get things turned around. But this year will not be the year. And
I
y'all
don't see
should
it.
y'all should want to lose every game. Honestly.
Literally.
Maybe then you could trade Kyler somewhere for some picks, bring in Caleb Williams, um, get him some O line help, please. Clear out some cap space. But man, the more I look at this schedule, it's really saying 0 and
It's
17.
tough. I know.
I
It's
want
tough.
I'm gonna have to do some research, but I feel like there's got to be a prop somewhere that has them at plus odds to go 0 and 17. Might have to sprinkle on that because, oh Lord, I can't see them winning. Granted, Colt McCoy is a serviceable backup. He'll come in and play good every now and again. But
It's the
with that
others.
roster,
I was gonna say it's just the others that scare me,
it's the
man.
others that scare me. Like I cannot see it. I cannot see it. So yeah, Cardinals. I got them finishing 1-16, last place in the entire NFL. As for the Rams, if they can stay healthy, I think it'll be a decent year. But I still think they'll miss the playoffs. I got them finishing 8-9.
Yeah, me
But
too.
we'll see sparks of some of that old Rams from 21 when they won the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford, think this might be his last year. We'll see if he's able to stay healthy. If he, God forbid, I don't want this to happen, knock on wood, but if he gets another concussion this year, he's definitely retiring. I think his wife won't even let him have a choice in that matter if that does happen. But if he stays healthy, if they can get Cooper Kupp back healthy and not kill him by working him to death with throwing him the ball 30 times a
Mm.
game, I think they could squeak out 8 wins, but they just don't have the roster, and that's because they sold their soul for Super Bowl, traded away all their picks to get veterans like Von Miller, but it was worth it. They got the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yeah.
Now you have to live with the ramifications of that. And last year it really showed its head because the roster was already weak on top of injuries. This year they get rid of Jalen Ramsey. Aaron Donald's supposed to be back, so we'll see if he can stay healthy and get back to being the number one defensive tackle in the league. But they lost him. They lost Allen Robinson, Brandon Powell, Leonard Floyd. And literally in this booklet, the one key they everybody else has like 6, 7 key additions they made in the offseason. They have one. It's tight end 100 long. I don't know if that's a typo, but that would be a crazy typo. But it literally, that's it. That's all they have. I don't even know if you'll be able to see this in the camera, but you see this section right here?
Oh, did I see? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
just one. That's
Got
it.
one.
That's it. One key addition. So,
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
it's going to be tough in Los Angeles. Maybe, Los Angeles fair weather fans anyways. Maybe the Chargers will finally get some packed home games this year. Maybe they'll jump ship,
They
but
probably will.
they probably will.
Probably
But,
will.
but yeah, that's the NFC West. The NFC West said think San Francisco still get first. Would not surprise me though if Seattle comes and takes it. LA Rams better, but still not good enough. And Arizona Cardinals. Um, yeah,
Tough year.
Arizona fans.
Okay.
Just saying, before the season starts, the application is still open to come jump on the Chiefs bandwagon, so you can potentially have some enjoyment of watching football this year. But if if you stick with them, you're a ride or die Cardinals fan. Hey, I give you props because I've been there before as a Chiefs fan growing up, watching some terrible football. But just prepare for a very tough year. It's gonna be like that TikTok watching your team struggle, turning on CBS for the afternoon game and watching Patrick Mahomes get down the field with such ease. It's like the two stark differences in the NFL.
It's crazy difference seeing that, man.
Crazy. But last but not least, rounding out this episode, the NFC East.
Whew, we back,
Boy,
man.
boy, we
We
back,
back.
baby.
We back.
I got some stuff to say.
Yeah, me
Might
too.
make some fans, might make some enemies of us. I want to go through this division back to front, honestly, because this should be good. Who we got finishing last in the NFC East this year?
I got it's either gonna be the football team or it's gonna be the Giants.
I got the Giants.
But okay, I got the football team at 6-11.
Okay, I got the Giants. I think this is gonna be a really tough division, but I got the Giants at 8-9.
I
Kind
got
of like
Giants.
Minnesota last year. They won a lot of one possession games. Think Brian Daboll is a good coach. Think they overpaid Daniel Jones a little bit, but I think he'll still be decent because Brian Daboll is a quarterback whisperer, as we seen. He did it for Josh Allen last year. He helped Daniel Jones improve. I think that they won Saquon injury from having a real bad season. They still lowballed him, and he's probably gone after this year because I don't think they'll tag him again. And it doesn't seem like they want to pay him. They did get Darren Waller. That's going to be a solid pickup as long as he stays healthy. But they still don't have wide receiver talent like that. They did get what's his name? I
Jalen
forgot.
Hyatt.
Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee. He could be a nice wide receiver prospect. But I just think it's going to be a tough year for them. They got kind of a difficult schedule and a tough division. Think they'll open up the season with an L at or versus Dallas at home. They get Arizona next week, so that's a win, of course. Then they got to go at San Francisco versus Seattle, at Miami, at Buffalo versus Washington, divisional opponent versus New York Jets. That's a tough stretch right there, and I don't see them coming out of that stretch with the winning record. And then at the end of the season, they go at New Orleans, at Philly. LA Rams is kind of a gimme, and then versus Philly. So it's gonna be a tough season for them. And even though people were buying in on the hype train last year because they were winning games, and now they got Saquon back, second year with Daniel Jones and Brian Daboll, I just don't think this team has enough still, and they need to go get some a bona fide option for Daniel Jones as a wide receiver one. They still don't have that in my eyes. Who knows? Maybe Jalen Hyatt could be that. Maybe if Darren Waller is back fully healthy and he stays injury free this season, maybe he can be that. But I just think it's gonna be tough for New York this year, and they're not gonna be able to replicate what they did last year in my eyes. So that's how I got them last. You said you got the football team, the Washington Commanders, new
Yeah.
ownership finally.
Definitely ownership. They headed in the right direction. I'll say that. But I feel like it's just a lot of questions over there. Do they really trust Sam Howell? I know. Um, I think when he was playing last year, he was looking pretty decent or whatever. But it's gonna be a first year, pretty much first year starting the whole year, whatever. Are they gonna be able to trust him? Is the O-line gonna be good? I know they got the pretty good receiving core with Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin. I know they picked up Emmanuel Forbes on the defensive side, cornerback. But I'm pretty sure this is probably Chase Young's last year. I don't see them. I don't see them paying him, so I think they're gonna let him walk maybe. But yeah, I got them going 6-11. I think they're gonna be the last team in that division. So
I
what you
got
got them
them
going?
finishing third. And honestly, with the record I gave them, they could possibly still make the playoffs, I think. I got them winning 10 games this year. I think Sam Howell is going to be a pretty decent quarterback. I'm excited. He shouldn't have had to do this, but he has to. Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator, think he'll open up that passing game a little bit for them. He's a running back coach by heart because that's what he played. So I think that's going to be big for Brian Robinson Jr. and Antonio Gibson. Like I said, defense, they're always going to have a solid defense with Ron Rivera. I think Chase Young is back fully healthy. I think we can get to see some of that Chase Young we saw his rookie year where he was looking like one of the next best defensive ends in the league. Um, I think Terry McLaurin, not that he's going to be playing with a superstar quarterback, but I think at least for the next 2-3 years, Sam Howell will probably be the guy. I think so. I think you're going to see Terry McLaurin start to build that relationship with him and chemistry with him. I think we'll see a good connection there this season. Like I said, Jahan Dotson. I think I think they can sneak in the wild card with 10-7. I got them starting off the season. Arizona, Denver, 2 dubs. I think Buffalo, Philly, 2 L's. Chicago, Atlanta, 2 dubs. At New York Giants, I got them splitting, so they take an L there. I got them beating Philly at home, beat New England, beat Seattle, beat New York at home. At Dallas versus Miami, 2 L's in a row. And then they end the season 2-2 with losses to the New York Jets and San Francisco. But they end the season beating Dallas at home. And with that 10-7, like I said, the NFC is in a deep conference this year. I think they could very well be in the playoffs. And then it's a team you don't want to necessarily see in the playoffs because anything can happen, and they got a solid defense, especially if it's one of their divisional rivals, which it very well could be. And that means you would be seeing them for a third time in the year, and you always know those games are the toughest. So I got them finishing 10-7, third place in the NFC East. And I'm assuming that you got New York,
I
or you
got
said
yeah.
you got New York third. So what record do you have for the Giants this year?
I got New York going around 7-10 or 8-9. Um, let me put this schedule real quick. Now, right off the bat, I got them losing to Dallas. I got them coming back beating Arizona. Got them losing to San Francisco. Got them losing to Seattle. Got them losing to Miami. Got them losing to Buffalo. I got them sweeping Washington. I got them beating Vegas. Got them beating New England. Got them beating Green Bay. And got them beating the Rams. So around 7-10 or 8-9.
Okay. And then where do you think how do you think Daniel Jones plays this year? Because obviously he had a decent year last year, but I mean it wasn't anything too spectacular. It was just decent in a sense from what we've seen from him in previous years. But
Mhm.
he still only had like I think 22 touchdown passes, and he just shortened his interceptions, which was good to see. But obviously this year they opt to pay him instead of Saquon. Saquon was holding out. They were able to just sign him to a 1-year deal, but more than likely Saquon is gone next year. You think Daniel Jones, your boy Danny Dimes, does he take another step forward and kind of further solidify, like, hey, he can really be the franchise guy? I mean, he's gonna have to be the franchise guy because they, like I said, they just paid him. But do you think he takes that next step forward with Brian Daboll and them boys in New York?
He's I mean, like you said, he literally has to at this point. So I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts if he's going to or not. He really has to. If not, I mean, that's tough on them. But we seen Dayball, he was a very big part of Josh Allen's growth over there in Buffalo. I know you seen we all seen first year last year with what he did with Danny Dimes, kind of pretty much took the ball out of his hands just a tad bit. He wasn't really making all those dumb passes that kind of what we kind of seen from Josh Allen when he started off with Dayball. So we're gonna see. I mean, they don't really have that many weapons other than they got Jalen Hyatt and Wandale Robinson and stuff like that. But I mean, other than that, yeah, they added Darren Waller too. So that should also be a big help. But we're gonna see if he takes that next step. It's gonna be very interesting to see that. But like I said, he has to. I mean, he has to take it. So
He has to.
they paid him.
They paid him, and they just hired Dayball, so I don't think he's not going. They
Nah, he
both not going
going.
anywhere for at least the next 2 years. Depending on how those go, then it becomes discussions of which one do you let go of, or do you try to trade Danny Dimes? But yeah, man, that's tough. That's tough. But I figured we'd have these two in third and fourth. We just got them switched. So
Yeah.
now we leave it to first and second, man. I think I don't know, man. Cowboys fans are like, what is this? What is this fool about to say? What is he about to say about us? Cowboys fans, y'all gonna love me this year. I got the Cowboys finishing in first place. If it's
Okay.
not this year, okay, then I really don't know when. But I'm gonna go with history right here. I think this is now I think it was like the 12th season in a row, I believe, or something like that, where it's been a different division winner every year in the NFC East. Last year it was Philly. Philly now has lost both their coordinators this year, lost some key pieces on both sides of the ball. They did replace some of those pieces, but they got a younger defense, so I expect some growing pains there. And I think Dallas wins one more game. I think they'll split home and home. And Dallas defense, Micah Parsons, I think might win Defensive Player of the Year this year, finally, if he's able to stay healthy. You got Stephon Gilmore opposite Trayvon Diggs now. I think CeeDee Lamb is about to have another great year, especially with Brandon Cooks giving him a solidified wide receiver too. Tony Pollard finally going to get the bulk of carries with Zeke being out. If they do choose to give Deuce Vaughn some run, I think that's Darren Sproles 2.0. I'm a big fan of his. Not a big fan of the Cowboys, obviously, but I'd love to see him have some success as a little guy in the league. But I think Dallas finishes 13-4 this year. Philly finishes 12-5. Dallas Cowboys first place in the NFC East and first place in the NFC Conference. And then from there, Cowboys, we're going to get into our prediction episode for the playoffs at a later date. But if y'all do not capitalize this year and win the Super Bowl, I think Dak Prescott is gone. Because at that point, what else can you necessarily do? You done seen everything. He done, you've seen how far you can get with him if it's not the Super Bowl this year. I think you're going to have to explore the trade market. Who wants Dak, or who could we get? Do we try to trade Dak, move up in the draft, get somebody like a top quarterback prospect, like a Drake May or something? But Cowboys fans, I'm with y'all this year. Last year, told y'all what was going to happen. Y'all wasn't winning the division. It didn't happen. But this year, y'all got the I need it stamp of approval. 13-4 for the Cowboys. Got them opening the season with a win at New York Giants. Got them taking an L week 2. Aaron Rodgers owns them. I got to see it to believe it before I think they'll beat him. Then I got them going on a 5-game win streak. They got Philly week 9 at Philly. I think they'll lose that one. Then go on another 5-game streak. Lose to Buffalo at Buffalo. Beat Miami, beat Detroit. And I got them losing the final game of the season to Washington, but they'll already have first place of the division sold up. So they honestly might just rest their starters that week, in my opinion. And 13-4. As for the Eagles gonna come out hot. I think the Eagles gonna start the season 5-0, and then I have them losing to the New York Jets. Then they go to Miami, or they play Miami home, win. Got them losing at Washington. They'll split with Washington, I think. Beat Dallas at home. Then they got a bye week, travel to my Chiefs, lose that game Monday night. Then one more loss would be at Dallas. And then potentially, depending on what the records are looking like, I have them losing to New York. Like I said, I think Dallas will have already sold up first place. So I think with that being said, I don't think Philly would have any reason to really play their starters for that game as well in the last game of the season. And I think they could drop that one to the Giants, who would still maybe be trying to scrape in for a last wild card spot. But I got Eagles 12-5, Cowboys 13-4. As much as we get on Dak Prescott, he is actually a decent quarterback in the regular season. It's just when the playoffs come, you don't know what Dak you're going to get, and that's where the problem really lies. But I think he can do enough in the regular season with this talent on this roster to lead them to 13-4. As long as he can stay under 15 interceptions, they should be good. That defense is good enough that they can hold them above the water if Dak has those games where he throws 2-3 interceptions. But let's hope and pray, Cowboys fans, that that's not as much of a problem this year. It hasn't looked too good necessarily with Camp. I've seen a few bad days from him, but I got faith with that talent. They can get it done this year. Like I said, I'm going with history. It's always a new division winner every year in this division. I think it's the Cowboys this year with that defense leading the way and the offense doing just enough to help that defense out. Am I crazy for thinking that? Or do you got them first place, or you still got Philly?
No, I still got Philly first place, and I got Dallas second. But I don't think you're crazy for saying that. I think you're crazy for saying Dak plays good in the regular season because last year he was god awful. I mean, he was disgusting. I mean, he was like, I mean, I was sitting up here saying I can't even remember the white boy name. I would say he need to be the start over Dak. I can't even. Oh yeah, Cooper Rush. I was gonna say I don't remember I don't remember his name no more. I was just talking. I don't even remember his name. But nah, man. Yeah. They got better. During the offseason or whatever. I think that defense for sure gonna be top 3 this year. Like you said, they added Brandon Cooks or whatnot. Still got CD. TP still over there. He's gonna be a dog with Deuce Vaughn, like you said, Darren Sproles 2.0 or whatnot. I mean, it's literally just up to one guy to do what he gotta do, and that's Dak Prescott. Well, actually it's two guys. It's Dak Prescott and it's Mike McCarthy.
Oh yeah,
he's calling the plays.
He is calling the plays. That is one thing.
I
don't know about all that. We gonna see.
Both their jobs are on the line this year. I feel like, me personally, I think both their jobs are on the line this year. So we're gonna see. But I got them going 12-5. So I got them coming out strong versus the Giants winning. Like you said, Aaron Rodgers owns them. They're gonna lose against the Jets. I got them beating the Cardinals, got them beating the Patriots, got them taking 2 straight L's to the 49ers and Chargers back-to-back away games. They got a bye week. Then I got them beating the Rams, got them losing to Philly and Philly. Got them beating the Giants, I got them going a little win streak right here. The Giants, Panthers, Commanders, Seahawks, and Eagles. I got them all win that game. And then I got them losing to the Bills in Buffalo. Then I got them winning the last 3 versus Miami, Lions, and Commanders. So yeah, I got them coming out 12-5. Like you said, if history repeats itself, they can definitely win this division. Wouldn't be surprised if they did win a division, because like I said, it's really up to 2 guys. Really, one guy is really up to Dak to come out and do what he do.
It's just, I mean, we've been kind of saying it, but this is literally like his make it or break it year. If there's any slight pinch of a reason that they lost and it's on him because he did something stupid, I feel like you just have to move on at that point. Because what else? I want to say this is like year 7 for Dak.
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. Obviously had the great regular season his rookie year because the league didn't know anything about him, but then they lose in the playoffs. Um, all these playoff losses, the year he broke his ankle, obviously they had a bad year. And then last year, they had high hopes. They come out, look really good versus Tampa Bay in Tom Brady's career. Dak plays a great game. So now you're like, now all the Cowboys, oh, this really is the year. We beat Tom Brady. We're winning the Super Bowl. And then go and drop a dud again versus the 49ers. So, like I said, it really bows down to what he will do in the playoffs. History says it won't be good. Maybe this year he can turn around, but if not, I think you gotta move on from him. But like I said, I think CD, after being wide receiver 1 for the first time last year, but not even really having a wide receiver 2 on the roster because Gallup wasn't really that great coming back from his ACL. I think Brandon Cooks will be a much better wide receiver 2 to open up some more space or just take some pressure off CD if they are going to focus all their attention on him. We said Deuce Vaughn, Darren Sproles 2.0, but they also got Ronald Jones for short yardage. So they could definitely use him in the ground and pound game. Defense, as long as their defense stays healthy, they should be top 3, if not top 2 defense. And like I said, it's really just a 1-game difference between them and Philly for me that could easily be reversed, and it could be Philly. But I just think Philly losing both coordinators combined with all the talent they did lose, and especially the defense kind of going younger, I think it'd just be tough for them to repeat what they did. But get to the playoffs, I could very well see Philly running through the playoffs again. But I think them and Dallas, it's really going to depend on who has home field advantage. I think this year we get a Dallas-Philly playoff matchup. And I think it would just depend on who ends up with the better record, who gets the home game. Because I think at home, they're both better than the other. Hopefully this year we get 2 healthy matchups between Dak and Jalen. First game, Cooper Rush was playing. Second game, Gardner Minshew was playing. So it wasn't really like we got to see their best selves versus each other last year. But hopefully we get that this year. Like I said, Cowboys fans, after being on y'all ass all last year, I'm with y'all this year. I think this year y'all can get first place. Stay tuned for the predictions episode coming in a couple weeks to see if I think y'all can finally make the Super Bowl. I don't know if I'm on them type drugs, but we'll see. I'm still thinking over a little bit, but I said it last year, but this really, like the NFC, you lose Aaron Rodgers now. Tom Brady retires. Like I said, Philly got 2 new coordinators. You bring your defense back again and you add Stephon Gilmore. You're not gonna get a better opportunity than this. You have to capitalize. Let's see if Dallas can finally capitalize. But I think this will kind of be a miserable year for us fans who are not Cowboys fans because we're going to have to hear them on Twitter all year because I think they'll be winning. And so once they start winning, oh boy, you know what time it is. This is the year. It's our year finally. So we're going to be listening to that a lot, but I think they do get it done in the NFC East this year. And they squeak by and get Philly with 1 more game. So that's how I got it finishing. You got Eagles in first, Dallas in second, Commanders in fourth, the Giants in third. I got the reverse of that. But yeah, man, that wraps up the NFC preview episode. Like I said, it's August 16th. Still got 2 more weeks of preseason, 3 more weeks until the actual season starts. Could be injuries, could be trades, signings. Dalvin Cook just signed with the New York Jets yesterday. So that's another new addition we didn't know about last week recording AC. So there's still a lot of stuff that could change. These picks could change. But as of right now, this is what we got locked in. I think because of work and some other things, I'm going to upload this episode Friday morning. Be on the lookout next week. Tomorrow, we're having our fantasy draft. We're hosting a fantasy league this year with some of the gang. So tomorrow, we're going to be filming a live fantasy draft podcast. Like I said, we'll air next week, but we're going to have everybody that's participating, or most of us, on the Zoom call as we go through the draft. It's me and Cam versus the field. So can we defend, our own league and bring the championship home? I think we got something cooking up our sleeve. We about to kind of strategize after we get off this episode right now. We've been talking the last 2 days. But yeah, man, stay tuned for that. We appreciate you if you listen all the way through to our NFC preview for the 2023-24 NFL season. It's your I Need a Sports podcast, boys, signing off. Your favorite kids from the neighborhood. Bryce, my dog Cam, and we out, man.
Man.
Y'all can all see my screen okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Damn, go ahead and press the say it begun.
Oh, no, there we go. It just started.
Oh.
It's on you,
shit.
Kim.
All right.
The draft is not live. Uh-oh.
I need it.